Some Arsenal fans really piss me off. And I know at this point it's almost like saying water is wet. It's almost like a fundamental law of nation right now. I mean, these guys have single-handedly boosted the GDP of entire nations just from the sheer revenue generated by people hate watching them on YouTube. Their reaction to the latest VAR decision, that did it for me. It let me know that some of them are actually special. And I don't mean special like the bond between a mother and a child. I mean needs a separate classroom and a helmet type of special. Hey everybody, it's The Realistic Red. If you're new to my channel, please consider smashing that like button. Subscribe as well. It's free. And if you do have something to say about my opinions, by all means, drop a comment as well. Today we'll be talking about the latest VAR call in the Arsenal-West Ham game and why VAR at this point is essentially a dumpster fire. So Arsenal fans are basically trying to say that the foul on Raya was basically different than some of the other fouls earlier this season. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. In the game of football, fouls are rarely identical. For example, this clip is different from that clip, and that clip is different from this one. But can you guess the one thing they all have in common? They were all fouls and they should have all been given as fouls. Let's be real here. Raya was obviously fouled. Even Stevie Wonder could see that. The issue here isn't the foul. It's the blatant head-scratching inconsistency in the Premier League. And for fans to somehow act like they don't see what the rest of the Premier League is talking about is purely disingenuous. Another example. This was a red card. And this was not a red card. This was a red card, and this was not a red card. Sometimes it feels like in the VAR room, these referees just have a magic 8-ball and they just shake it and decide the calls based on what they see on the 8-ball. So Arsenal in the past, maybe even this season, I can't remember, they've gotten goals disallowed for impeding the goalkeeper during a corner kick or a set piece. But for some reason this season, they've really gotten away with assault in the box. And again, for the special Arsenal fans that may be watching my video right now, I just want to make one thing clear. This is not about Raya. He was clearly impeded. The reason everyone feels like that call was unjust was because Arsenal was the team that introduced this whole garbage into the Premier League, and the PGMOL has done a poor job managing this entire thing. And the fact that they decided in this moment to now understand what everyone has been saying all season, especially when it's against the one team that introduced this into the Premier League, it does leave a bitter taste in everyone's mouth. Again, this was definitely the right call, but the inconsistency is big problem. Now, personally, I don't mind the on-field refs making mistakes. They're running around with 22 entitled millionaires on the pitch that will deny a blatant foul. Like Cunha sometimes dives and he gets a yellow card and he complains about that. This is normal. You're handling people like Kai Havertz screaming at you. I get it. And they have to make split-second decision in a game that is moving so fast. I completely empathize with the on-field referees. But the donuts in the VAR room, the ones sitting in a climate-controlled office with 4K slow-motion replays and the Uber Eats delivery on the way, when they ignore the obvious, it's not match fixing. It's just pure, unadulterated incompetence. Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. I don't know who said that, but there's wisdom in that. I don't think anyone is cheating here. I just think the VAR room is filled with incompetent human beings. We need to bring back Colina and throw him in that room. Just clone a bunch of Colinas and have them referee the Premier League. That's the solution at this point. Because sometimes it just feels like the refs in that room are choosing when to be referees based on how they feel that day. I don't think consistency is too much to ask for. Or do we need to send the VAR room back to primary school to try and learn how to do same or different? If you want to understand why these referees make these big blunders, it's actually down to human psychology. It's the same reason why everyone accused Ferguson of cheating when we dominated the Premier League. When the stakes are high, refs are terrified. If you send off Gabriel for a headbutt against Haaland, you're not just making a call, you are deciding the title in that moment. Referees are human. Nobody wants to be the guy that ruined the title race. They sure as hell don't want to be harassed at the airport by 400 North Londoners, okay? They've been waiting 22 years for this. A bad call might put the referee at risk. So when the stakes are high, they freeze, they overanalyze, they let it play. However, if they approached every game with the same intensity as a UCL final or as a title deciding match, we would have better calls. The inconsistency stems from how different games, different profile games are refereed. As a matter of fact, even the referee personnel changes depending on the stakes of the game. So in a UCL final, for example, the referees will be more scared of making a mistake than a politician that's on the Epstein files. And I'm sure that this is the real reason why we get inconsistent calls, as I'm sure that Donald Trump is going to tweet something crazy by the end of today. So Arsenal fans, listen up. You might be on track for your first trophy since 2004. Most of your Twitter following wasn't even born yet. So, congrats. But you still have 2 games to go. And karma in the Premier League is a bitch. Do you remember when Klopp complained about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United getting too many penalties, and all of a sudden the penalties dried up like the Sahara Desert? Or how we pushed back on Martinez's hair pulling incident, and all of a sudden now the referees are now lenient with Manchester United. We're now getting calls go our way. Martinez literally assaulted Broby in the last game versus Sunderland, and he didn't even get a call, let alone a red card. I mean, same can be said for what happened to Bruno, but you get what I mean. So don't be surprised that when all this heat is coming at Arsenal and Arsenal fans and Arteta pretending not to know what is going on, that it will backfire as well. Because VAR can flip that lock on its head at the worst moment. If you act like the referee decisions have not been inconsistent and that they've been somehow going your way because of how those set pieces calls have been going, do not cry when these same referees eventually screw you over. Because I feel like it's coming. And for your sake, hopefully it doesn't take away the title race from you. Anyways, that's it for my video. I just want to share my quick thoughts on the entire issue. But what do you think? Is VAR broken? Is it the tech? Or are the referees just scared of the big moments? Let me know in the comments. Also, to my Arsenal fans, try to keep the death threats to a minimum. And I'm telling you the truth. Put biases aside. You know what I'm saying is true. Anyway, once again, just a reminder to smash that like button if you watch all the way to the end. Subscribe to the channel for more realistic red takes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.